Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward.
Chapter 1. Ding! Congratulations, host, you have successfully checked in and gained the ability, Mastery of Miniature Shuriken Throwing. In a small grove of trees in Konoha village, an indescribable power swept through Yefeng's body. Then, a wealth of information about miniature shuriken throwing techniques flooded Yefeng's mind. So far, Nightwind has mastered the throwing technique of shuriken of all sizes. But this did not make Yefeng happy at all, on the contrary, it made him feel somewhat depressed. System, it's been almost 2 years since I activated you when I was 5, hasn't it? In the past 2 years, I've completed at least 10 tasks. But look at these rewards you gave me. Proficient in shuriken throwing, proficient in kunao throwing, proficient in senbon throwing. They can actually use size as an excuse. Doesn't your conscience hurt? That's fine, but what I find most unbearable is that there are also things like nail throwing mastery and pencil throwing mastery. In your system's eyes, everything can be thrown. Yefeng plopped down on the ground, his mind racing with complaints. Actually, it's not that Yefeng looks down on Wu Yukai and Kiribi. Only, this system enabled Yefeng to master so many hidden weapon throwing techniques. Could it be that they plan to have Nightwind deliver a perfectly sized shuriken to the naive Otsutsuki from 800 miles away during the Fourth Shinobi World War? Isn't this ridiculous? System, you know what I lack most right now? My physique is poor, my chakra extraction efficiency is very low, and the amount of chakra my meridians can store is even more limited. If you don't help me solve this problem, I probably won't be able to go to school this year. Nightwind sighed. The first test for admission to the Ninja Academy is chakra. Although taijutsu ninjas like Rock Lee and Might Guy, who cannot use ninjutsu, can still successfully enroll. But even taijutsu ninjas need chakra, right? However, Yefen's aptitude for chakra is truly extremely poor. For example, if a normal ninja can extract 1 point of chakra by consuming 10 points of stamina, Night Breeze requires at least 1000 points. So, given Yefeng's current physique, if he were to forcibly cultivate chakra, he would easily deplete his body. Besides, the channels through which the Nightwind blows are also very narrow. Under normal circumstances, he can store dozens of times less chakra than a normal person. In other words, even at the risk of being completely drained, Yefeng stored up a great deal of chakra. Final. He might run out of chakra after using a substitution jutsu. With a physique like that, without special abilities, it would be almost impossible for Yefen to become a ninja. It's not that being a ninja is so great. But in Konoha village, if you can't become a ninja, you won't have a chance to leave the village. They cannot leave the village. Night Breeze's check-in locations are limited to within the area of Konoha village. But if you keep signing in Konoha village, who knows what kind of throwing mastery he'll unlock next. So, Nightwind still needs to find a way to become a ninja. Please be patient, host. The check-in location is a manifestation of the universe's fortune. This system merely helps you unlock this fortune and manifest the rewards, it cannot create rewards out of thin air. After listening to the system's explanation, Nightwind revealed a very disdainful look. So, you, this so-called super sign-in system, are you just a reward delivery person? I don't believe you for a second. I calmed myself down. The Night Breeze is preparing to go home. But at that moment, the problematic system has released a new sign-in task. Ding! Please proceed immediately to the 5th large rock to the left of Moonlight Waterfall in the 23rd forest of Konoha village to sign in. Chapter 2. After hearing the task issued by the system, Yefeng couldn't help but sigh. Such a bizarre and tongue-twisting sign-in location. That's really something else. But no matter what, it is possible to activate 2 check-in tasks in a single day. This is like winning the lottery. Although the rewards are a bit disappointing. But it's better than having no task at all. Arrive at the check-in location. Night Breeze stood on the 5th stone described in the system. System, give it your all. The Night Wind muttered something. However, the system did not emit the usual notification sound to begin the check-in process. The Night Breeze couldn't help but frown. Did it fail at the crucial moment? Just as Ye Feng was about to ask the system a question. Suddenly, a sharp gust of wind swept in from behind the Night Breeze. There are hidden weapons. Night Breeze was already proficient in all kinds of hidden weapons. Combining them can also lead to broader understanding. This allowed Ye Feng to already possess the skill level of a master of concealed weapons. So, when the Night Wind sensed something was wrong, he had already rolled several times to get away from his original position, creating some distance between himself and the enemy. Meanwhile, the stone that Ye Feng had just stood on suddenly turned into a cloud of white mist with a bang. The white mist dissipated. A ninja whose appearance was obscured appeared in Ye Feng's line of sight. Humph! Konoha truly lives up to its reputation as the #1 ninja village in the ninja world. My proud transformation technique was actually seen through by a brat. Haha, Shiuer, I told you this wouldn't work. If you can't even fool a little kid, how are you going to fool the one in Konoha? 2 ninjas came into view in the night. One that had just disguised itself as a stone. The other was someone who hid in the shadows and used a hidden weapon to ambush Ye Feng. Kid, you're pathetic, but our whereabouts must never be revealed. So, now, you have no choice but to die. Say your last words. A chill ran through Xiaodu's eyes. As if in his eyes, the Night Wind had become a cold corpse. Meeting the other person's gaze, Ye Feng frowned and sighed, saying, Actually, I didn't realize you'd turn to stone, and I'm not sure what you're planning to do, plus I don't know you. So, how about we give you a chance to turn back? We can all pretend nothing happened? After all, I'm still just a child. Hey? Kid, I think you've lost your mind. What's wrong with a child? I've killed plenty of kids, what's one more? Shiuer sneered repeatedly. But before Shiuer could finish speaking, Night Wind has already made its move. Swish, swish, swish. The Night Wind lifted its body into the air, its hands waving. He threw out all the miniature shuriken he had been secretly holding in his hand in an instant. The miniature shuriken were incredibly fast, whistling through the air as they hurtled towards the 2 ninjas. Humph! For a brat like you to be so proficient in hidden weapons, among all the little kids, I, Shiuer, would call you the strongest. The 2 ninjas suddenly leaped into the air, swaying back and forth, easily dodging Ye Feng's hidden weapon attack, and then began to exchange witty remarks. But the Night Wind paid little attention to this. He grabbed another handful of senbon needles with both hands. Just like before, he threw it at the 2 enemies. In response to this, Shiuer sneered repeatedly. I've told you already, kid. Attacks like that have absolutely no effect on adults. The 2 ninjas easily dodged the Night Wind's attack, just as they had done before. But the instant they landed, suddenly, a clanging sound rang out behind them. Shiuer managed to twist her neck a little. He saw that the second senbon he threw by Ye Feng had all hit the shuriken that had missed their mark and stuck in the rock the first time. The shuriken and the senbon needles collided. The miniature shuriken that had been inserted into the rock the first time actually bounced off again. Under the impact of various hidden weapons, 2 of the shuriken shot towards the 2 ninjas with lightning speed. Puff! The sharp shuriken easily pierced the carotid arteries of the 2 ninjas. Night Wind has secured the first kill. After a person dies, Night Wind walked up to the 2 corpses and sighed. Hey, isn't life good enough? I told you I'd give you a chance, and you didn't take it. Chapter 3. In the world of Naruto, ninjas possess superhuman strength. But in reality, they are only slightly more powerful offensively. Their defense is no different from that of ordinary people. Completely unprepared. One root, 1,000 books. A kunao. Even a nail. They could kill a ninja with ease. Even cage-level masters are no exception. The Night Wind coldly stared at the two ninjas lying in a pool of blood. He swallowed hard. Kill. It's not an easy thing. Especially after the other person dies. The body was not still. Those special reactions that only occur in the nerves and muscles after a person dies constantly stimulate and wash over Yefeng's mental world. But the Night Wind did not choose to run away. Because the Night Wind knows that in such a world, murder is a required course. Only this class started a little earlier than Yefeng had expected. People who come to the village to issue missions are usually kept in watch by ninjas. These two must have sneaked in. Could they be spies from Kumagakure or Iwagakure? No. If it were just a simple spy, it wouldn't be possible to break through Konoha village's barrier unless someone was secretly colluding with them. Could it be the King of Pots? The thought of Danzo, the scapegoat of Konoha, comes to mind. Yefeng's expression instantly turned serious. If it really is related to Danzo, he'd better leave here as soon as possible. Ding! Host detected has arrived at the check-in location. Check-in will now begin. Countdown starts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 0. Congratulations, host, you have successfully checked in and obtained the Vortex Bloodline trait. Boom! A vast and indescribable power reappeared. The experience was the same as usual. There is no difference. But after this power disappeared, Yefeng clearly felt a significant change in his body. The muscle strength didn't increase much. However, the vitality of the cells has increased, and the meridians have become slightly thicker than before. Haha, system, you still say you're not manipulating things behind the scenes? I was just complaining for a short while, and you give me the Vortex Bloodline. You say you didn't secretly manipulate things, but I don't believe you. The system ignored the night breeze. But the night breeze was still in a very pleasant mood. But instead of immediately checking his body for changes, he quickly ran towards the village. After all, it is very unsafe to stay here. Half an hour later. Swish, swish, swish. 3 figures appeared at the spot where Yefeng had committed the murder. The one in the lead. White bandages were wrapped around his face and right arm. His face was filled with a murderous aura. You can tell at a glance that he's not a good person. Lord Danzo, the person is dead. The time of death was likely within the last hour. The corpse only had one wound on its neck, indicating it was killed instantly by a sneak attack from behind using some kind of miniature concealed weapon. Judging from the wounds, the killer was proficient in assassination using concealed weapons. A root ninja wearing a mask carefully examined the corpse on the ground and respectfully reported the results to Danzo. Danzo Shimura hesitated for a moment, a chilling glint in his left eye. He stepped over the corpse, walked to a rock about 2 meters high, touched the shuriken marks left on it, and fell into deep thought. He's a master. Could it be that Hiruzen has discovered Orochimaru's scheme? Did he secretly send Elite ANBU to eliminate them, and deliberately leave their bodies behind as a warning to me? Thinking about this aspect, Danzo narrowed his eyes. Check if anyone has been in this forest within the last hour. Yes, Lord Danzo. Hearing Danzo's instructions, the ninja immediately took out a scroll from his robes. Open. Form hand seals. It was a ninjutsu technique used for long-range communication. Lord Danzo, about 10 minutes ago, someone saw a child of about 7 years old leaving this forest. Oh? A child? Who is it? Has Hiruzen recruited another genius like Itachi Uchiha? Shimura Danzo was slightly surprised. It seems to be the eldest son of Yamanaka Inoichi, Yamanaka Nightwind. Chapter 4. Mountain Night Breeze. Shimura Danzo frowned. Yes, Lord Danzo, should we send our men to capture him and subject him to severe torture? A fierce glint flashed in the eyes of the root ninja. Danzo glanced at him coldly and said in a low voice, "No need. I have some impression of him. Although this brat possesses the talents of 7 chakra attributes yin-yang, 5 elements, and 7 powers, he's a useless piece of trash who can't properly refine chakra. If even he can kill Orochimaru's subordinates, I might as well capture Orochimaru and soak him in alcohol. Clean up the body, let's go back." "Yes, Lord Danzo." Yamanaka Inoichi is the head of the Yamanaka clan in Konoha. Nightwind is the eldest son of Yamanaka Inoichi, Yamanaka Ino's older brother. Although the Yamanaka clan's bloodline is not related to the Otsutsuki clan, but Ye Feng was the son of the patriarch of a powerful clan. This start wasn't bad in itself. Unfortunately, Ye Feng's mother had a miscarriage when she was pregnant with him. This resulted in Ye Feng having health problems after birth. Of course, if physical constitution simply refers to muscles and bones, it can be completely made up for through post-treatment care and training. After all, the Yamanaka clan is also a large clan in Konoha village, and Yoru, as the son of the clan leader, is not lacking in resources. But in the world of Naruto, chakra is king. Ninjas possess a very unique chakra system. Through a special chakra refining technique, they can extract life energy from human cells and combine it with their own spiritual energy. The product of this combination is chakra. Chakra is stored in the meridians. When using, ninjas can perform a wide variety of ninjutsu by manipulating chakra through hand seals. So, the efficiency of chakra extraction and the amount of chakra that the meridians can hold directly determine a ninja's strength. And the Nightwind is weak. These are precisely the two most crucial aspects. It can be said that, under normal circumstances, Nightwinds are definitely not associated with ninjas. But the situation is different now. The chakra system of ninjas is highly dependent on bloodline. After Ye Feng incorporates the bloodline characteristics of the Uzumaki clan, his chakra refining efficiency will gradually increase, and his originally weak meridians will undergo secondary development. After all, the Uzumaki clan possesses an exceptionally strong talent for chakra. Given enough time, the Night Breeze will thrive. He can definitely solve his own problems completely. And the most crucial thing is not actually the improvement of bloodline. Instead, Nightwind's notoriously unreliable system has finally stopped being a rip-off. Ultimately, the system is Nightwind's true reliance. "I'm home. My mother and sister are preparing dinner. If nothing unexpected happens." Yamanaka Inoichi is still unable to come home for meals due to his busy schedule. "Brother, you've been out fooling around again. Look at you, all sweaty." Ino finished washing the vegetables for her mother and frowned when she saw Yora's sweaty face. A night breeze drifted in. "Place the ninja tool bag in the storage cabinet next to the entryway." He smiled and shook his head. "Ino, how many times have I told you? This is training, not fooling around." Ino is a famous beauty in Naruto. But Ye Feng and she are siblings. Orthopedics is absolutely out of the question. "Brother, didn't I tell you that once I become a ninja, I'll protect you? Can't you just enjoy life peacefully? Why do you have to make your life so hard?" Ino dried her hands, walked up to Yoru, and with a haughty expression, very seriously criticized him. "Wouldn't it be better to just be a spoiled young master in a wealthy family? Why go out to practice asceticism all the time? If it were that annoying Shikamaru instead, he'd probably rather be a salted fish, someone who doesn't want to work." Okay, I understand. Our Ino will definitely become an excellent jonin in the future. My brother will rely on Ino from now on. The night breeze chuckled and gently brushed against my sister's nose. His eyes were full of doting affection. Will he have to rely on Ino to protect him in the future? Let's forget about it. After all, we'll have to rely on Yoru to deal with that future Ten Tails beast cannon. Chapter 5. Alright, Ino, let your brother go take a shower first. The two of us will go cook. The mother put down the ingredients she was holding, smiled, walked over to her two children, and embraced them. Humph, I was just trying to help my brother, but look at him, he doesn't believe me at all. I even wanted to make him some pan-fried venison chops. Ino pouted, pretending to be angry. Seeing this scene, both Ye Feng and his mother couldn't help but laugh. Okay, I'm going to take a shower now. Remember to put extra chili and cumin in the venison chops, and sear them until they're crispy on both sides. Night Breeze waved goodbye and went into the bathroom. Prepare the bath water. The night wind carried the secret medicinal concoction made by the mountain tribe into the pot. Medicated baths were very important for ninjas, but also very expensive. But Night Breeze's aptitude is very poor. Yamanaka Inoichi never restricted Yoru's material needs. He's his own son, after all. The water temperature was adjusted to be just right. The night breeze settled into the bathtub. Immerse your body completely in the medicinal solution. The gentle medicinal properties penetrate the body through the pores. It relieves the fatigue of the day. It replenishes the vitality lost in the cells. As expected of someone with the whirlpool bloodline, they can almost maximize the medicinal effects. Night Breeze lay comfortably in the bathtub, thinking about the future. The bloodline issue is finally resolved, but next, we still need the chakra refining technique. Night Wind scooped up a ladle of hot water, poured it over himself, and shook his head. I probably won't be able to get it from father. Should we buy that civilian version of the refining technique from the ninja tool shop? Wouldn't that be too ineffective? In the world of Naruto, anyone with a reasonably good physique can train in chakra. But to refine chakra, one must master the chakra refining technique. There are many versions of the chakra refining technique. Most of the ones circulating in the market are bronze grade. The results were very poor. Not only is the efficiency of chakra extraction very low, even the refined chakra wasn't solid enough. And ancient families like the Yamanaka clan, naturally, they possess a highly sophisticated chakra refining technique. But when Ye Feng was 5 years old, Yamanaka Inoichi used the mind-turning technique to control the night wind and attempted to extract some chakra. The good news is, his own son might possess 7 chakra natures. The bad news is, Yamanaka Inoichi only extracted a tiny bit of chakra, yet it nearly cost Yoruyuki his life. After that, it took Ye Feng 3 whole months to recover from being bedridden. Yamanaka Inoichi also gave up his plan to have his son train in chakra. Even if you want to practice, we should wait until we're older and see how things go. So, Ye Feng wanted to ask his father for a family secret technique. That's probably not going to work. Even though the night wind told his father that his health had improved, Yamanaka Inoichi still won't try. Because he couldn't bear to part with it. This is understandable, though. After all, bloodline potential is that something you can just improve as you please? The odds are too low. Sigh, looks like I'll have to go see Uncle Feng tonight. At the dining table, Ye Feng thoroughly enjoyed the venison chops that his sister had carefully grilled for him. Like a whirlwind sweeping away clouds. The venison is quite good today. Did Uncle Luju bring it over? Ye Feng asked while eating. Hehe, I knew you had the pickiest tongue. This was indeed a gift from your Uncle Luju. The entrance exams are coming up soon, so it's a good opportunity for you two siblings to brush up on your knowledge. Seeing that Ye Feng was eating with great relish, his mother was also very happy. Whether or not you can become a ninja is not important. The important thing is, the family can live happily together. Brother, are you really going to take the entrance exam this time? But Ino hesitated, as if she wanted to say something but then stopped herself. As is customary, any child in Konoha village who is 6 years old or older can register for the Ninja Academy entrance exam. But I want to pass the exam. Certain qualifications must be met. But if it's the older brother, is it really possible? Chapter 6. It was getting dark. Night Breeze carried a large bag of venison and left home, heading towards the outskirts of the mountain tribe. Not long after, the Night Breeze stopped in front of an inconspicuous house. Ding ding ding. Knock on the door. Uncle Feng, stay home. After knocking 3 times on the door opened. A handsome ninja with brown hair walked out of the house. He glanced at Ye Feng, frowned slightly, and asked, Ye Feng? What brings you here so late? His name is Shanzong Feng, which differs from Ye Feng by only 2 characters. Yamanaka Fu is Yamanaka Inoichi's younger brother. Night Breeze's uncle. His identity is that of a jonin in the Anbu. But these are just his public identities. Yamanaka Fu's true identity is Danzo's subordinate, the elite among the root ninja. Speaking of which, the mountain wind ultimately met a rather tragic end. He was used as a sacrifice for Yakushi Kabuto's impure world reincarnation. That kind of horror is something that probably no one, except for the other living people who were used as sacrifices, could understand. So, for people like that, Ye Feng initially didn't want to have much contact with him. But the two are ultimately uncle and nephew. It's unlikely that there will be absolutely no contact. Over time, one is Ye Feng, who has lived 2 lives. A mountain wind devoid of emotion. The two of them inexplicably became friends. At this time, although Shanzong Feng's expression was somewhat cold, but the night wind knows. Shanzong Feng was genuinely worried that Ye Feng had encountered some trouble. That's why I came to see him so late. It's nothing really. The Nara family just sent over a batch of top-quality venison today, the kind you can't buy in the market, so I specially brought some over for you. After all, you guys in the ANBU must consume a lot every day. Night Breeze laughed, shaking the venison in his hand. The Nara family has raised deer for generations. The deer they raise have extremely high medicinal value. Venison contains a very rich vitality. It's an excellent tonic for ninjas. Shanzong Feng glanced at Ye Feng, took the venison, and said calmly, Come in, it's windy outside. After saying that, Shanzong Feng then turned and walked into the house. Night Breeze turned his head to look around, then smiled and shrugged. Is it windy? After entering, Night Breeze sat down on the sofa in the living room. Uncle Feng, even if you're an Anbu member, you don't need to carry a sword around at home all the time, do you? Look at Ataka from the Uchiha clan. He's also an Anbu member, but when he's not on a mission, he looks so relaxed. Ye Feng sighed. In the eyes of the night wind, Shanzong Feng's nerves always seemed to be on edge. I really don't understand why he chose to follow Danzo in the first place. Wouldn't it be better to simply be an elite ninja of the mountain clan? The root and the dark side are different, they're not comparable. Yamanaka Kaze expressionlessly put the venison into the refrigerator and casually asked, Coming to see me so late, there must be something else going on. Alright, I won't beat around the bush with you anymore. I plan to start cultivating chakra now, but I don't have a superior chakra refining technique, so I need your help, Ye Feng said with a smile. Chakra refining technique. Yamanaka Fu frowned, sitting down opposite Yorafu. Have you forgotten what happened 2 years ago? You actually want to cultivate chakra now? Are you out of your mind? The night breeze smiled. Pick up a wine jug from the table. Glug. Strong liquor down the throat. The strong alcohol brought back some feelings from his past life. Put down the wine pot. Night breeze said calmly, Uncle Feng, you just said it yourself, that was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I would get drunk after just a sip of alcohol, but what about now? No. Yamanaka Kaze decisively shook his head, then picked up the wine jug and took a sip. Cultivating chakra and drinking are two completely different things. You should understand that yourself. I can't help you with this. The night breeze smiled too. He snatched the wine jug back from Shan Zongfeng's hand. A gleam of brilliance shone in his eyes. Of course I understand what you're saying, and that's precisely why I came here to ask for your help. Because only you would trust someone who's still just a child. Chapter 7. Even if a kid is outstanding, he's still just a kid. Especially during peacetime. Other people's 7-year-olds are still just running errands. But Yefen had been training with various ninja tools since he was 4 years old. All of this. The wind in the mountains saw it all. Night breeze is definitely different from other people's children. So. I don't know when it started. The mountain wind no longer treats the night wind like a child. Uncle Feng, you know my personality. Once I've made up my mind, I will never give up. If you don't help me, I'll have no choice but to go to the ninja tool shop and buy those cheap, mass-produced items. Can you bear to do that? Shan Zhongfeng sighed. Facing the night breeze. Even if Shan Zhongfeng is a heartless killer. Sometimes he felt somewhat helpless. Besides, I always act with discretion. Since I've come to you for help, I must be confident in my physical condition. I'm certain I can train my chakra normally and become a ninja. Night Wind added. Looking at Yefeng's confident expression. Shan Zhongfeng finally softened. The chakra refining technique I practice is exclusive to the Anbu, it's too domineering and unsuitable for you, nor can it be taught to outsiders casually. While the techniques of the mountain clan are relatively gentle, I cannot reveal them to you without your father's permission, that's the rule. So. I can only offer you some chakra extraction techniques from those fallen clans that I once collected. These techniques may not be as good as those of the Yamanaka clan, but they're still better than those used by ordinary ninjas. After saying that, Shan Zhongfeng took out a large stack of scrolls from the cabinet and placed them in front of Yefeng. A fallen family. Night Wind's eyes suddenly lit up, and he asked, anyone from the Senjua clan? Hearing the Night Wind's question, Shan Zhongfeng glared at him irritably and said, has the Senjua clan declined? Don't forget, the main branch of the Senjua clan still has Princess Tsunade. The Night Breeze nodded. Indeed. Although only Tsunade remains as a pure bloodline of the Senjua clan. But if Tsunade is willing, she could completely revive the Senjua clan on her own. It's simply that the bloodline of the next generation isn't as pure. Hey, is this a technique from the Uzumaki clan? The Night Breeze lingered for a long time. Suddenly, a familiar pattern appeared in the scroll. That's the emblem of the Uzumaki clan. Shan Zhongfeng glanced at the scroll in Yefeng's hand, shook his head, and said, the bloodline of the Uzumaki clan is very special and not suitable for our cultivation. The Vortex clan's bloodline characteristic is their exceptionally strong vitality. Their techniques were all developed around this characteristic. So, normal people are indeed not suited to practicing the techniques of the Uzumaki clan. But the Night Breeze is different. Although he did not possess the pure Vortex bloodline. But, with the help of the system, Night Wind already possesses the characteristics of the Vortex bloodline. This chakra refining technique of the Uzumaki clan is perfect for him. Uncle Feng, let's take this one. You know my situation is rather unique, maybe the Vortex method is more suitable for me. Night Breeze smiled nonchalantly. The scroll was opened. He started flipping through it on his own. Stop fooling around. You should know something about the principles of chakra extraction, right? How can your situation be the same as the Uzumaki clans? Yamanaka-fu shook his head. But just as Yamanaka-fu was about to teach Yoru-fu a lesson, explaining the essentials of practicing chakra refining techniques, suddenly, Yefeng's aura suddenly began to rise. Although his face also suddenly turned paler. But an invisible vortex appeared around him. Seeing this scene unfold, Yamanaka-fu's face showed astonishment. Such pure chakra, how is this possible? Chapter 8. A layer of sweat appeared on Yefeng's forehead. Although he looked a little tired, he also had a very excited expression. Uncle Feng, see? I didn't lie to you, I really succeeded. Although Yefeng's cellular and mental energy were depleted in an instant. But at this very moment, a stream of incredibly pure chakra was flowing through Yefeng's meridians. Although not many. But that feeling made the Night Breeze feel very comfortable. Eat this soldier's ration pill first. Shan Zhongfeng quickly took out a top-grade soldier's ration pill and handed it to Yefeng, then said solemnly. You're being incredibly reckless. I haven't even taught you how to practice chakra extraction technique yet, and you're already trying it yourself? Are you out of your mind? The night wind's behavior truly surprised the mountain wind. Chakra is a form of energy. Given equal quantities, naturally, whoever has purer chakra will use stronger ninjutsu. Yamanaka Kaze carefully examined the chakra within Yoru's body. Such purity is rare, even among jonin, let alone a child. Could it be? Could it be that my nephew has truly awakened some extremely special bloodline characteristic? Haha, I just couldn't resist. Luckily, it's nothing serious. Now you can teach me. Yefeng swallowed the soldier's ration pill in one gulp. The rich aroma of the medicine filled his mouth, and he instantly felt much better. Hey, you must remember this, refining chakra is no small matter. Every time you train, you must prepare in advance beforehand and gradually begin refining. Never do what you did just now, lest you damage your foundation. Shan Zhongfeng sighed. Then he carefully explained the essentials of practicing the chakra refining technique to Yefeng. After listening to the explanation from Shan Zhongfeng, Night Breeze frowned and asked, is refining chakra really that troublesome? If so, wouldn't it be extremely dangerous for a ninja to exhaust all their chakra in battle? Shan Zhongfeng said solemnly. Chakra is the foundation of a ninja, if it's used up, it's naturally dangerous. However, once you've mastered the chakra extraction technique, you can refine chakra while fighting. However, the situation in a ninja's battle is ever-changing. Trying to refine chakra in battle is much more dangerous than in normal circumstances, and one wrong move could result in injury. Therefore, it is essential to practice diligently in daily life. The Night Breeze nodded. Judging from Kakashi's frequent trips to the hospital for several days at a time, overusing chakra in battle is indeed very dangerous. Uncle Feng, thank you so much for everything today. After the Night Wind memorized the contents of the scroll was returned to the Mountain Wind. After all, it's someone else's collectible. Taking it away wouldn't be appropriate. The Mountain Wind closed the scroll, calmly looked at the Night Wind, and said thoughtfully. Don't tell anyone about your chakra training yet, and don't let anyone see you training. Even when enrolling in a ninja academy, don't show off too much talent, just meet the enrollment standards. This will be good for you, as for the specific reasons, don't ask. As an elite member of the Root Ninja, Yamanaka-fu naturally knew about what had happened in the forest today. Danzo had no suspicion of Yoru because Yoru's abilities were so poor. But if Danzo finds out about Yoru's chakra training, it might be bad for the Night Breeze. In response to this, The night breeze smiled calmly. Okay, if you don't want to tell me, I won't ask. I'll try my best to keep my shortcomings to myself in the future. You trust me? Then I trust you too. Although, it's because I already knew your background. Chapter 9. 2 weeks later. The entrance exam for the Ninja Academy has begun. Yoru and Ino arrived at the exam hall entrance early in the morning. At this time, a large number of children who had come to take the exam had already gathered outside the examination hall. Whether it's a large family or an ordinary family, given the opportunity, parents all want their children to become ninjas. It seems like this is the only way. Only then can one gain glory. Hi, Yokeis, Ino. We're here. Koji Akimichi stood with Shikamaru, and upon seeing Yoru and Ino, he waved enthusiastically. Sigh, a deer, a butterfly, and then 2 pigs, what a troublesome situation. Shikamaru sighed. It's as if I can already see all the troublesome things I'll be facing in the future. Hey, you stinky deer from the Nara family, who are you calling a pig? Want to get beaten up again? Ino's gaze darkened, her forehead creased with anger, and she raised her fist furiously. The Ino Shikacho trio is the iconic combination of the 3 clans of Konoha village, the mountain tribes of Akimichi and the Nara tribes. Each generation of Ino Shikacho is composed of members from the clan chief's family. Typically, it's a single-child family line. However, Yefen developed health problems after birth. So, Yoru's parents had another child, Ino. That's all. 2 candidates emerged from the Yamanaka family in this generation. But, whether it's the night breeze or the well field, they were clearly not very interested in the character of the pig. Ugh, I knew there would be trouble. I really don't want to be a ninja, it's just too much trouble. From a distance, Shikamaru saw Ino's menacing aura. He sighed again. Humph, I really don't understand. Koji's family is all so fat, yet they're called butterfly. But our family is so good looking, yet we're called pig. Ino said sullenly. Night breeze smiled and comforted Ino for a few moments, then patted her head. Even though Koji is a fat guy, but after transforming into a butterfly, that's a perfect figure. Over time, more and more children gathered at the entrance of the exam hall. Yefeng glanced at it briefly. The 9 Konoha ninja are not all here yet. To be frank, this year's students practically absorbed all the luck of the entire ninja world. Fortunately, he had a night breeze to carry him. Otherwise, I might not even be able to get up. At this moment, a weak girl's voice suddenly sounded behind him. Night Wind, hello. I heard this sound. Night breeze turned around with a smile and saw Hinata Hyuga with her head down. Hinata is easily embarrassed. The only reason she mustered the courage to greet Yefeng was that she wanted to talk to him. So, the night breeze did not disappoint her. Hello Hinata, it's been a long time. You've become even cuter. I heard the night wind's flirtatious words. Hinata's face instantly turned even redder. She quickly lowered her head even further. He started fiddling with his fingers. Night wind. They're saying those strange things again. Seeing Hinata like this, the night wind laughed. Well, it wasn't that Yefeng insisted on stealing Naruto's girlfriend. 2 years ago, Night Breeze received a sign-in task. So, when those kids tried to bully Hinata, Yoru stepped in to save her, thus stealing a marriage that originally belonged to Naruto. However, there's nothing that can be done about it. Look at what Naruto did after he became Hokage. Leaving Hinata, who's known as the perfect wife, at home unattended, not even eating dinner with her, is that something a human being would do? I really wish I could be in the same class as Hinata, so I could see the cute Hinata every day. Night Wind continued spouting these lewd remarks. And so, Hinata's face grew increasingly red. It remained popular until the very end. She was so hot she felt like she was about to burst into flames. At this moment, Ino came to Hinata's side. He skillfully helped her up. "All right, brother, stop teasing Hinata. Look at her, she's about to faint again." After Ino finished speaking, Hinata's pupils dilated, and she fainted in Ino's arms. Night Wind, Ino. Chapter 10. A while later, with the dazzling appearance of Uchiha Sasuke, the 9 Konoha ninja have finally all arrived. Sasuke was accompanied by his older brother, Itachi Uchiha. The two looked sunny and handsome, yet possessed a unique air of mystery. After appearing, this immediately sparked a discussion among the crowd. "Tisk tisk tisk, I didn't expect Itachi's younger brother to be in the same class as us. His older brother is so amazing, his younger brother must be a genius too." Kaiba Inyazuka stroked his chin and began to offer his comments. "Hey? Who is Uchiha Itachi? Is he that strong?" Koji grabbed a handful of potato chips and popped them into his mouth, chewing them heartily. "Yeah, that's impressive. He started school at 6, graduated at 7, and joined the Anbu at 11. The Uchiha clan, truly a place teeming with talent," Shikamaru explained from the side. "Haha, a genius, right? Then I'll be the one to defeat him in the future." At this moment, Naruto Uzumaki, with his blonde hair, also joined in. He arrogantly declared that geniuses are meant to be defeated. And him? He's the one destined to defeat geniuses. In response to this, Kaiba, equally arrogant, frowned, nudged Naruto with a hint of disdain, and said, "Hey, who are you? Can you stay away from us? Who knows if idiocy is contagious?" Watching the interaction between the cockroaches, Ye Feng suddenly felt that the Naruto world he knew was finally becoming more and more like the Naruto world he knew. "We'll be facing Orochimaru in 6 years. As long as we survive and develop our strength, it shouldn't be too difficult." However, at this time, the system has issued a new check-in task. Ding! Please sign in at the front of the student queue for the entrance ceremony. Night Breeze swallowed hard. My heart is filled with both joy and sorrow. In the past, the system releases tasks only once every 1 or 2 months on average. But recently this system has actually become quite powerful. They've issued 3 check-in tasks in just 1 month. But the registration area for this event is in the first row of the entrance ceremony. In other words, Ye Feng must successfully enroll in the school, and he must become the number 1 among the boys. According to the custom of Konoha village, the entrance ceremony will be conducted in 2 rows. Boys in 1 line, girls in 1 line. Positions are determined by scores. At this moment, Night Wind glanced at Sasuke, sighed, and thought to himself, it seems, continuing to keep a low profile is no longer an option. Before, Night Wind was worried about being targeted by Danzo. So he has indeed kept a much lower profile these days. But now, for the mission, Night Breeze is probably going to break his vow. Actually, to be honest, if we consider it from Danzo's perspective, Night Wind's killing of the 2 ninjas who had sneaked in was purely coincidental. He also received no information about Danzo. Why would Danzo risk offending the Yamanaka clan by targeting yokais? Are you just bored and have nothing better to do? Being careful won't hurt. But for the sake of the mission, one must be bold when necessary. Not long after, the exam has officially begun. The entrance exam for the Ninja Academy is mainly divided into 3 parts. The first test was to assess the candidate's talent in chakra. The main focus is on the speed at which chakra is refined. The exam format was very simple. The proctor first gave everyone a detailed explanation of the basic chakra extraction technique, but the level of explanation was naturally several levels lower than that of the technique that Yamanaka Kaze taught Yoru. But This is mainly to take into account the children from ordinary families. After all, not everyone has the opportunity to receive one-on-one instruction from a jonin. Chapter 11. After the proctor finished explaining the bronze version of the chakra extraction technique, he first let the children from ordinary families review the material on their own. Then, the proctors began helping the examinees who had already practiced chakra to return their chakra to a state of spiritual and life energy. In this way, all candidates' base chakra level was now 0. Then, according to the exam requirements, all candidates have 5 minutes to perform chakra extraction. Of course, this examination method is still unfair to children from ordinary families. After all, children from wealthy families may have already started training their chakra, so their proficiency naturally far surpasses that of ordinary players. And the chakra extraction techniques used by children from large families are also of superior quality. They are simply incomparable to ordinary people. But there's no way around it. This is reality. 5 minutes later, the proctors score candidates based on the amount of chakra they extract. Uchiha Sasuke, 10 points. Orochimaru, 8 points. Hinata Hyuga, 8 points. Naruto Uzumaki, 3 points. Mountain Night Breeze, 10/10. After Yefeng's score was read out by the examiner, Sasuke Uchiha frowned slightly, as if to say, how can a child from such a small clan get the same score as me? That's right. In the eyes of the Uchiha clan, looking across the entire Hidden Leaf village, they're all small families. Elder brother Yamanaka Ino pouted and came to Yora's side, somewhat unhappily accusing him. You've already recovered, and you didn't even tell me. Do you still consider me your sister? Did I adopt you? Seeing Ino like this, Night Breeze smiled and patted her little head, explaining. I only found out today too. Maybe this is just my luck turning around. Okay, let's go prepare for the next exam. Nightwind didn't offer much explanation. Because the more you explain, the less clear it becomes. It would be better to just say, I know nothing. After all, I'm just a kid and don't understand anything. You can fill in the rest with your own imagination. After finishing his sentence, Yefeng turned and left, heading towards the location of the next exam. Ino watched Yoru's retreating figure, and sure enough, she looked enlightened and began to fill in the blanks in her mind. That's true. When my father taught me the chakra extraction technique, he said that he did not pass it on to my older brother, nor did he allow me to pass it on to him without permission. But judging from today's situation, my brother is definitely a genius. It just hadn't been discovered before. Thinking about this, Ino couldn't help but laugh happily. That's exactly what I meant. How could my brother, Yamanaka Ino, be a good-for-nothing? At this moment, Sakura Harano walked up to Ino and walked alongside her, whispering in her ear. Ino, your brother is amazing, and so handsome too. You're so lucky. Ino turned her head and glanced at Sakura, her eyes revealing wariness. Hey, Sakura, that's my brother. Don't you dare try anything with him, and let me tell you, he probably already has someone he likes. After saying that, Ino secretly glanced in Hinata's direction. Sakura followed Ino's gaze. He looked as if he had just realized something. Oh, it's Hinata-chan. Hyuga and Yamanaka, that's a good match. Why? It's really tough being a girl from an ordinary family. Chapter 12. The second exam begins. This exam tests the candidate's proficiency in using ninja tools. Needless to say, this is yet another instance of harm inflicted on children from ordinary families. You need to know. Ninja tools aren't cheap. Furthermore, the breakage rate of ninja tools during training is also very high. Which ordinary child would be willing to let go and train so freely? So, There's an inherent gap between casual players and those who spend real money. Next. The first to go on stage was Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke, please choose the ninja tool you wish to demonstrate, the proctor said with a smile. Sasuke Uchiha stepped forward, a mysterious confidence on his face, and said, as a member of the Uchiha clan, of course I'll choose Shuriken. After saying that, Sasuke Uchiha glanced in the direction of the night wind. A slight upturn at the corners of her mouth. It's as if it's saying, this one. I, Uchiha Sasuke, will be the coolest guy here. Soon. The proctor then took the target from the shuriken test. Just as the proctor was about to announce the start of the exam, Sasuke suddenly smiled smugly again. Teacher, isn't this test a bit too easy? It's really not very interesting. Could you please rearrange the exam room according to my requirements? Of course, the other students don't need to worry too much. After all, unlike us Uchiha clan, you don't have the innate talent for shuriken. So you just need to take the exam in the most basic way. Listen to it. Is this even human language? No wonder the Uchiha clan has a bad reputation in Konoha. The proctor was somewhat unhappy. But he is, after all, the son of the Uchiha clan chief. He's just a lowly chunin, he shouldn't offend them. Then, the proctor rearranged the examination room according to Sasuke's request. At this time, in the examination room, the targets have been changed to 6. One is directly in front. The other 4 were hung on the trees diagonally above and to the sides. And the last one, it was placed behind the first target. This created an absolute blind spot. Then, the exam has begun. Sasuke Uchiha smirked, took out 4 shuriken with both hands, and threw them into the air. Immediately afterwards, Sasuke once again soared into the air with unparalleled style. He threw out the other 2 shuriken in succession. Whoosh! Whoosh! Ding ding ding! The last 2 shuriken arrived first, striking the previous 4 shuriken. It made a series of tinkling sounds. Final. 5 shuriken landed precisely in the bullseye of the target. The last one. Although it didn't hit the bullseye, it accurately struck the target in the blind spot. Sigh, I missed the bullseye on the 6th shot. My performance today was a bit poor. Although Uchiha said it was terrible, he had a very arrogant look on his face. See? This is the essence of the Uchiha clan. Are you scared? Uchiha Sasuke, 10 points. The proctor swallowed hard. Big families are indeed different. He's just a little kid. He actually possesses such a high level of shuriken talent. That's incredible. The other candidates around them were also stunned. Even a large group of little girls, led by Sakura, all showed infatuated expressions, their eyes turning into little red hearts. Kaiba and Yazuka, wow, that's impressive, a formidable rival. Naruto Uzumaki, ha ha ha, not bad at all. Only in this way will they have the right to be defeated by me in the future. Koji Akimichi was holding potato chips in his hand, but forgot to put them in his mouth. He asked blankly. Ah. Shikamaru, what just happened, did you see clearly? Shikamaru sighed, saying helplessly, I saw it clearly. The ability to perfectly control the force and direction of each shuriken, those Uchiha clan members, they're really strong. Chapter 13. Sasuke's turn to leave the stage. The second person to take the stage was Ye Feng. Yorikaze-kun, please choose the ninja tool you wish to demonstrate. The proctor made a deep breath. While geniuses are amazing, they can also inspire envy, jealousy, and resentment. But, as a professional ninja academy teacher, he quickly calmed himself down. The exam must continue. After hearing my name called, Night Breeze stepped out from the group. He glanced at the targets around him and calmly said, I'll also test my shuriken skills. I'll use the target this student just used. As soon as Ye Feng uttered these words, the examination room erupted in excitement once again. Wow, is this handsome guy also good at shuriken fighting like Sasuke? I think so, otherwise why would he choose the same testing method as Sasuke? That's great. I get to see another awesome performance. Today's exam was definitely worth it. That's all. They are all infatuated girls who like to judge a person based on their appearance. After all, for them, good looks are the ultimate deciding factor. Brother, keep it up. You're the best. Hearing the chatter of the girls around her, Ino felt a surge of pride. That's my brother. Of course it's amazing. Although Sasuke is handsome, he's nowhere near as good looking as my brother. Hinata secretly glanced at Yoru. As expected of Night Wind Lord, so many girls like him, the pressure must be immense. Sasuke Uchiha laughed arrogantly, looking at Yamanaka Yof and saying calmly, Yorika Yof, right? My actions just now were quite dangerous. Replicating them is not a good idea. Sasuke learned that shuriken technique from his older brother, Itachi Uchiha. To learn this cool throwing technique, Sasuke has sprained various joints quite a few times. And this guy from a small family actually wants to imitate him? Are you kidding me? Ye Feng glanced at Erzuza silently, choosing not to acknowledge him. Erzuza's ability to feign invisibility was something he was bound to from childhood. Definitely a bloodline limit. It's the kind that can be started at any time. Just ignore it. Yorikazu-kun, are you sure you want to choose the same testing method as Sasuke? If you fail, your score might be very low. The proctor kindly offered a reminder. No problem, teacher. May I begin? Ye Feng asked calmly. The proctor sighed and said, You may begin. The exam has begun. The group of friends held their breath in excitement. All I saw was, unlike Sasuke, Ye Feng didn't strike any cool poses. He simply and casually flicked the shuriken in his hand. Immediately afterwards, without even glancing over, Ye Feng turned and walked straight towards the group. This left the audience somewhat disappointed. That's it? Where's the cool move you were promised? It was just so-so. But only Ino and Hinata disagreed. In their minds, the Night Wind is the strongest. Really? After another series of ringing sounds, all 6 shuriken hit the bullseye. The scene erupted in uproar. Ah, this. Shikamaru, what do you think? Koji had already put the potato chips in his mouth, but looking at the result in front of him, he forgot to chew. Shikamaru stared at Yoru's retreating figure, speechless once again. My opinion. Of course, it was done by looking with our eyes. Haha, brother is the best. While her friends were still confused, Ino jumped up happily first. See? See? My brother hit the bullseye every time. He's much stronger than those brats from the Uchiha clan. Chapter 14. As Ino's voice faded in the crowd, a heated discussion erupted. Although Yoru and Sasuke have different styles, but I've watched the performance by the two handsome guys. The infatuated girls felt like they were about to reach the pinnacle of their lives. This exam was definitely worth it. The proctor rubbed his temples, suddenly feeling a tightness in his chest. Mountain Night Breeze, 10/10. Although both are rated 10. But everyone knows very well, the Mountain Night Breeze was clearly superior to that of Uchiha Sasuke. Next, although a few boys with considerable talent in ninja tools still emerged, but compared to Sasuke and Yoriyuki, their excellence then becomes utterly uninteresting. Of course, in Hinata and Ino's eyes, the Night Breeze is the brightest one. Uchiha Sasuke is simply incomparable. In the group, Uchiha Sasuke stared intently at the Night Wind. His small, childlike fists clenched tightly. It's as if it's saying, "A mountain breeze at night. I'll definitely surpass you in the next exam." The third exam begins. This test is about physical strength. For a ninja, physical strength is a crucial factor. Whether it's ninjutsu or taijutsu, both require physical strength as a support. So, once a candidate can extract chakra normally and understands the use of some ninja tools, it's time to test their physical strength. The third exam was held on a large track made up of hundreds of wooden stakes as obstacles. The track was uneven. There will be various obstacles along the way. The exam format was very simple. All candidates start from the same starting line. Whoever reaches the finish line first will have the highest score. In other words, in this exam, only one person can get a perfect score. Humph, Mountain Nightwind, I admit you're strong, but in this exam, I will definitely defeat you. Uchiha Sasuke stood beside Yefen, pretending to be an imposter. His tone was indifferent. It looks very sophisticated. However, Yefen had already figured out Sasuke's tactics. It's nothing more than this: the sky cleared, the rain stopped, and Uchiha felt like he was invincible again. So, the night breeze still couldn't be bothered to pay him any attention. After all, want to surpass Yefen in terms of physical strength? Sorry. He started cultivating his body when he was 3 years old. Humph, go for it, brother. Let them see what a genius from our Yamanaka clan really looks like. Even though Sasuke is handsome, my brother is the best. The exam has begun. He rode alone through the night, leaving everyone else in the dust. The tall obstacles on the track seemed to pose no obstacle to him whatsoever, as if it were flat ground. Of course, Uchiha was also quick. But it's still a little different from the night breeze. Hinata watched Yorika leading the way from afar, and a warm feeling rose in her heart. Night breeze, he's so amazing. I need to work harder too, I can't let him leave me too far behind. Having mustered her courage, Hinata also began to move forward with all her might. In an instant, the group of friends seemed to be carried by the night breeze. Everyone was full of fighting spirit. Humph, Nightwind, isn't this simple running a bit too boring for both of us? Do you dare to fight me while running? Sasuke realized he was always a few steps behind Yoru. I was very unhappy. Then, he proposed increasing the difficulty of the exam. If it were any other Xiaoqiang who was provoked like this, he would definitely stop and teach Uchiha a lesson. But, as for the night breeze, Sasuke is just a little kid. Is it really worth arguing so much with a little kid? And Uchiha's future is already bleak. Could he bear to make Uchiha carry a sack of rice from this moment on? So, Nightwind ignored Sasuke once again. But Nightwind's actions had clearly enraged Sasuke. Chapter 15. Humph, so arrogant. Uchiha Sasuke was repeatedly ignored by the Nightwind. This almost drove him to madness. After all, people who like to show off can't stand being ignored after they've just finished showing off. Then, Sasuke pushed off with his feet, using the momentum from the jump to reach for the clothes on Yefen's back. Seeing this, Yefeng slightly shifted his body and reached out to grab Sasuke's wrist. Then, a gentle breeze tossed Sasuke into the air, then kicked him in the buttocks. Bang! Uchiha was like a cannonball fired from a gun. He bumped into Naruto from behind. That's all. Naruto and Sasuke's first kiss was given away prematurely. The exam is over. Night Breeze undoubtedly won first place. Uchiha Sasuke was being harassed by Naruto. He ultimately only scored 8 points. However, they still ranked second overall. Yosuke-kun, congratulations on winning first place. Hinata Hyuga blushed as she walked up to Yosuke and whispered her congratulations. Night Breeze smiled, patted Hinata's head, and said with a laugh, "Congratulations too. I saw your performance. If nothing unexpected happens, we should be in the same class. Then we'll see each other every day." Hinata realized that Yoru had been paying close attention to her performance. A warmth immediately filled my heart. But when she felt the gentle pat on the head by the night breeze, Hinata's eyes began to sparkle. Fortunately, Ino caught her skillfully, preventing her from fainting. "Ugh, brother, is it really okay to tease Hinata-chan like this? Are you trying to create some kind of childhood friendship? It feels so mean." Ino glanced at Yoru. Fortunately, Yefeng is his own brother. Otherwise, I'd be constantly being fed dog food, a Hyuxia slang term for witnessing public displays of affection. Who could stand it? Night Breeze shrugged and smiled dismissively. Childhood friends? That's a good idea. The entrance exams are all over. The 9 Konoha ninjas and the powerful Yoryuki successfully gained admission. On the playground of the Ninja Academy, Night Breeze finally got to stand at the sign-in spot as he had hoped. Ding! Host detected to have arrived at check-in location. Check-in begins. 10, 9, 8, 7, 0. Congratulations, host, you have successfully checked in and received the reward, Mastery of Basic Attacks. Master of Basic Attacks. Once the system reward is credited to your account. The Night Breeze couldn't help but chuckle. It used to be a concealed weapon. Now it's become a weapon? Could this system be a samurai who has become a spirit? It's alright, though. A basic attack is, in any case, a melee attack. This close-quarters combat, tit-for-tat style, suits Yefeng's taste quite well. Next. A warm feeling flowed through the Night Breeze. Countless experiences and techniques related to basic attacks were absorbed into Yefeng's mind. But I haven't had time to experience the Night Breeze yet. After all, the third-generation leader was still on stage delivering that incredibly inspiring speech. Wherever leaves dance in the air, flames will burn, their shadows will illuminate the village, and new leaves will sprout. You are the future of this village. The high-spirited voices faded away. The students in the audience applauded and cheered. This statement contains a lot of positive energy and is a recurring theme throughout the Naruto world. But the words sound nice, though. But did the third Hokage truly live up to that statement? The will of fire is a selfless will. Did the third Hokage truly live a life of complete selflessness? Look at how his grandson, Konohamaru, is treated. Now look at the treatment of Naruto Uzumaki, the son of the fourth Hokage. I'll never tolerate this. The kind that can't be washed away. Chapter 16. Actually, Nightwind didn't intend to corrupt the third Hokage. After all, if the third Hokage were truly a two-faced villain, he wouldn't have risked his life when facing Orochimaru's invasion. Ultimately, Hiruzen Sarutobi's abilities were simply too weak. They are simply not qualified to be the shadow of a village. So that's why so many tragedies happened in Konoha. Of course, it's not entirely Hiruzen Sarutobi's fault. After all, he probably only has an elementary school education. They are ignorant of politics, economics, and science. Such a person. They were able to develop Konoha village into what it is today. That's already quite an achievement. Even if they didn't achieve great things, they certainly put in a lot of effort. This is the highest praise that Yoru gave to the third Hokage. After the entrance ceremony, Night Breeze brought his younger sister home. As soon as I entered the house, Ino jumped up happily. "Father, you're back." Ino was overjoyed to see her father come home so early. Yamanaka Inoichi smiled slightly, stepped forward and patted Ino's little head, then looked at Yoru with gentle eyes and said, "I heard about your exams from a friend, so I made a special trip back to celebrate with you two siblings. Especially Yefen, you only got 10 points on your chakra test?" Tell me, what happened? Yamanaka Inoichi is a high-ranking official in Konoha village. He naturally had ways to find out all the details of the Ninja Academy's exams. To be honest, Yamanaka Inoichi felt that Yoru's performance in terms of stamina and ninja tools was exactly what he had expected. But can this kid even get a 10 on the chakra test? Is this still his son who couldn't properly extract chakra? Could there be something more to this than meets the eye? No way. I haven't given the gift yet. Facing the eager gazes of his family, the Nightwind shrugged. This moment, Nightwind had already anticipated this. The Nightwind has lived 2 lives. This lifetime. Although he started out as a loser, he didn't experience any great hardships or deep-seated hatreds, and his family treated him very well. Logically speaking, there should be no secrets between members of such a family. But systemic issues are too important. The Nightwind cannot speak of it. I'm not quite sure either. Maybe it's related to my training over the past few years? Or maybe the daily medicinal baths are working. Nightbreeze feigned a look of utter confusion and offered a vague explanation. Upon hearing this, Yamanaka Inoichi nodded thoughtfully. If this happened before today, Ye Feng said that his physical condition had improved due to training or medicinal baths. Yamanaka Inoichi would never believe that. How can bloodline characteristics related to chakra be so easily changed? But the facts are right in front of us now. He had no choice but to believe it. Then he started to imagine it. Chakra is derived from physical strength, which is composed of the life energy of cells in our mental energy. You're so young, yet you've consistently engaged in physical training and medicinal baths. Your mental energy may already far surpass that of children your age. Perhaps that's the reason. Yamanaka Inoichi did not believe that the Nightwind was hiding any secrets. Instead, they forced an explanation on his behalf. After all, spiritual energy is a rather unique kind of power. Although ninjas can extract chakra by combining spiritual energy. But the power of the spirit, it's much more than just extracting chakra. For example, 2 people with equal physical strength are given the same weapons and trained in the same combat techniques. When they are placed in an arena, and it is set that only one person can survive. Whoever has stronger mental energy, that is, stronger willpower, will be the one who survives in the end. As the saying goes, a fearless master is no better than a dog. 3,000 you soldiers can conquer Wu. That's the point. Chapter 17. Konoha Village. Underground space. After reading the intelligence report in his hand, Shimura Danzo fell into deep thought. I never imagined that the Yamanaka family's son would be even more talented than Ataka's younger brother, and he's also proficient in shuriken jutsu. Shuriken. That brings us to this. Danzo Shimura put the intelligence scroll away. He touched his chin. He glanced at Yamanaka Kaze, who was wearing a mask. Feng, I heard that you two are on good terms. How much do you know about him? Danzo asked. Many of the root ninjas were trained by Danzo from a young age. These people had no names, no emotions, and were completely obedient to Danzo's orders. But a powerful organization cannot be composed of only such people. Mountain Wind is one such exception. Nightwind's constitution was inherently flawed. But for the past few years, he has consistently maintained a high level of physical training and takes daily medicinal baths using the mountain tribe's special medicinal water. Perhaps this is the reason for the change in his physique. After all, the mountain tribe is a very ancient tribe. The sound of the wind in the mountains was completely still. They reported the information about Ye Feng very objectively. Oh? I've never been able to find out the truth about what happened in the forest that day. I even tested that old fox Hiruzen a few days ago, but I didn't find anything suspicious. Could it be that those 2 Orochimaru subordinates were really killed by Yamanaka Yoru? Danzo narrowed his eyes. The voice was somewhat cold. That's possible. Ye Feng's skill with concealed weapons is very high, no less than mine. Shan Zhongfeng responded without hesitation. Danzo listened to Yamanaka Fu's answer and nodded in satisfaction. Ultimately, the two ninjas who died were just Orochimaru's subordinates. As long as it wasn't Hiruzen Sarutobi who did it. It doesn't matter who kills me. Actually, that little thing about the night breeze in the mountains. Danzo had already found out most of the details. If the mountain wind just now was deliberately covering up for the mountain night wind, that means there's a problem with Shan Zongfeng's loyalty. Compared to the night breeze in the mountains, Danzo was more concerned with Yamanaka Fu's loyalty to him. The next day, Yoru and Ino arrived at the Ninja Academy on time to register. After receiving the textbooks, the two of them were admitted to the elite class. Haha, Mountain Night Breeze, from today onwards, we're all classmates. I saw your performance yesterday, you seemed really good. But don't be arrogant, because one day I will surpass you. Naruto Uzumaki jumped onto the desk in front of Yoriyuki. Their arrogance was extremely overbearing. Night Breeze glanced at Naruto. He looked thoughtful. It seems that because his performance surpassed Sasuke's, Naruto changed his challenge target to himself. But Naruto and Sasuke are the true love. The Night Breeze had no intention of getting involved. Have you had enough? Naruto, you idiot! How could a loser like you possibly compare to your brother? Ino pulled Naruto away from Yoru with a look of disgust. She simply couldn't understand it. Why was this guy, who's at the bottom of the class, put in the same class as them? Naruto heard Ino call him a loser. 1,000 alpacas suddenly seemed to gallop through my mind. He was about to retort with a few words. Night Breeze stood up and laughed. Ino, don't say that. After all, we'll be classmates in the future. Moreover, I see that Naruto has an extraordinary appearance and excellent aptitude. If he can achieve enlightenment in the future, his achievements will definitely be remarkable. Who knows, he might even become Hokage. Chapter 18. Naruto Uzumaki initially harbored a slight hostility towards Yoriyuki. But now, Night Wind actually said in public that he could become Hokage in the future. This moment, Naruto was so moved he almost cried. A kindred spirit. Finally, someone acknowledges me. I, Naruto Uzumaki, will definitely become Hokage someday. Night Wind, you're a good person. Since you think so highly of me, then from now on we're true friends. Naruto Uzumaki grinned, gave Yoriyuki a thumbs up, and winked, giving off a might guy vibe. In response to this, Night Breeze nodded in satisfaction and smiled at Naruto in response. Gaining Naruto's approval is definitely a good thing. Future. If Ye Feng encounters something truly difficult to deal with, he can simply roar, I have Naruto, the genin, who can conquer all. After Yoru and Naruto confirmed their relationship, Naruto ran up to Sasuke again, pointing at him with the same arrogance and saying, Sasuke, did you hear that? I'm going to be the Hokage someday, so I'm going to beat you. Sasuke turned his face away with an air of aloofness. I have absolutely no desire to deal with an idiot like Naruto. Hey? What do you mean by playing the cold card? Don't you trust me? Naruto appeared somewhat displeased in the direction of Sasuke's profile. He persisted, asking relentlessly. Humph, just a loser, dreaming of becoming Hokage? Don't even dream about it. Sasuke turned his face away again and uttered a disdainful remark. This idiot thinks he can become Hokage? Are you kidding me? In Sasuke's eyes, Itachi Uchiha was the future Hokage. Others. Absolutely not worthy. Naruto saw that Sasuke was finally starting to talk to him. Then, he reappeared in Sasuke's sight with an arrogant expression, arms crossed over his chest. TCH, didn't you hear what Ye Feng said just now? I have extraordinary talent, I'm destined to become Hokage. Besides, Ye Feng is the top student in the class. Even the top student acknowledges me now, so how dare you, the second place student, disagree? Regarding Naruto Uzumaki's theory, the group of friends were speechless. Can't the second place team crush you, the bottom ranked team? How many dishes are there? It actually floated like that? Sasuke Uchiha glanced in the direction of the night wind. The mountain night wind blows again. I went home yesterday. As soon as Uchiha Sasuke entered the door, his father already knew his entrance exam results. He looked at Sasuke and sighed silently. That feeling was as if it were saying, Sasuke is definitely not as good as Itachi. That feeling made Sasuke very unhappy. Although Sasuke liked Itachi very much, he accepted the reality that he was not as good as Itachi. But he's just a child too. He also longed for his father's approval. But he clearly failed again. The culprit behind all of this is the night wind. Since I, Uchiha Sasuke, was born, why was there also the mountain night wind? And so, Sasuke Uchiha pushed Naruto aside, stood up, put his hands in his pockets, and walked aloofly to Ye Feng. He stared intently into Ye Feng's eyes and said in a low voice, Mountain night wind, I, Uchiha Sasuke, will never lose to you. Just you wait and see. I'll show you the difference between a mortal and an Uchiha. Sizzle, sizzle. There seemed to be an electric current clashing in the eyes of the two handsome men. The girls in the class who were infatuated with him immediately screamed. That was so exciting. Although Ye Feng seems to be a bit more handsome, more sunny, more approachable, and more capable. But Sasuke is quite aloof too. It's so hard to choose. It's so hard to choose. Chapter 19. Ring ring. The school bell rang. Teacher Irika walked into the classroom with great enthusiasm and introduced herself to everyone. Then, Irika began to recount the mission, responsibility, and bonds of ninjas. This sounds like someone who has received professional training. A few words were spoken. This made everyone incredibly excited. This kind of brainwashing rhetoric. The night breeze naturally felt very bored. He kept his head down. He started flipping through the textbooks the school had given him. Open your textbook. Night breeze discovered something very interesting. Almost every book begins with that sentence. Wherever leaves dance in the air, flames will burn, their shadows will illuminate the village, and new leaves will sprout. But the most interesting part is that the signature of this sentence is different in each book. Some titles read The Strongest Hokage of Konoha, Hiruzen Sarutobi. Some were inscribed with the title of Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Konoha ninjutsu expert. Others are inscribed with the title of Hiruzen Sarutobi, the clan leader of the Sarutobi clan in Konoha. Wow, that's impressive. That's absolutely amazing. Continue flipping through the pages. Night breeze discovered that there were even more outrageous things. In a certain textbook, the title of the first article was surprisingly, Interesting Anecdotes from the Life of the Strongest Hokage, the Third Hokage. The night wind swept across the scene in a few glances. It's nothing more than the second Hokage being appointed to a critical mission, his astute command during the Fourth Shinobi World War, and his well-organized management of the village, etc. This left Ye Feng speechless. No wonder everyone says the third Hokage was the strongest Hokage in Konoha's history. Leaving aside other matters. That's the kind of brainwashing technique they use. I, the mountain night wind, would call the third Hokage the strongest. But then again, did the third Hokage really have any outstanding achievements? The first Hokage. He was powerful, quelled wars, founded Konoha village, and made significant contributions to territorial expansion. The second Hokage. He was quick-witted, founded the Ninja Academy, and left countless ninjutsu techniques for Konoha village, making significant contributions through creation and dedication. The fourth Hokage. He fought against the Nine Tails head-on, disregarding his own life, and used a forbidden technique to protect the village, thus sacrificing himself for the village. And what about the third Hokage? Night Breeze rested her chin on her hand, thinking carefully. Before the Konoha collapse plan, the third Hokage's only shining moment was probably at the end of the First Shinobi World War. At that time, the second Hokage was ambushed by Kinkaku and Ginkaku of Kumagakure, and in order to allow the main force to retreat successfully, Hiruzen Sarutobi stepped forward, indicating that he was willing to sacrifice himself to cover the retreat. But here's the problem. After Hiruzen Sarutobi made his statement, the second Hokage not only didn't let him cover the retreat, but also, because of his courage, passed the position of third Hokage to him on the spot. It looks very inspiring. But in this process, did the third Hokage accomplish any real merit? The answer is no. Since then, two great ninja wars broke out in the ninja world. In these two ninja wars, Konoha village was the ultimate victor. But it's a pity. In these two ninja wars, Hiruzen Sarutobi was simply sitting in the Hokage's office, smoking and reading battlefield briefings. Take the Second Shinobi World War as an example. Whether it was fighting on the front lines or commanding from the rear, it was all done by the three legendary Sannin of Konoha. The Third Shinobi World War was even more awesome. The third Hokage was forced to relinquish his position due to his incompetent leadership during the war. Therefore, what was his contribution? Did he train the legendary Sannin of Konoha? But Ye Feng pondered it carefully. Let's not even mention that the legendary Sannin of Konoha have already left the village. Let's talk about their current status. One is Tsunade, a gambling tycoon who is addicted to alcohol and gambling. One is Jiraiya, a member of a cultural circle who is keen on voyeurism and writing erotic novels. And Orochimaru, needless to say, is another one. Although it's for the sake of science. But he did indeed harm countless innocent children in Konoha. Now, he continues to harm even more children in the land of fields. So, the master who trained these three disciples. At best, it's a case of merits and demerits cancelling each other out. So, this is the textbook. Nightwind simply couldn't bear to look at it anymore. Chapter 20. My first day on campus has come to an end. A bit boring. After school, Night Breeze did not go home with Ino. It is afternoon. There are still 1 or 2 hours until dinner time. So, Nightwind planned to find a place to test his newly acquired basic attack mastery. Konoha Ninja Tool Shop. The shop assistant was bent over, looking down at the Night Breeze, her face beaming with a lovely smile. Little friend, would you like to buy a set of ninja tools? What kind do you like? I can help you recommend some. The Night Breeze's gaze swept over the young woman's cleavage. I couldn't help but feel a surge of emotion. The car is nice. Unfortunately, the driver was not old enough to drive. Leave the ninja tool shop. Ye Feng, carrying his newly purchased ninja sword, found a nearby open training ground and began his training for the day. Master of Basic Attacks. As the name suggests, the improvement comes from Nightwind's basic attack skills. A flat slash. The simplest, most basic, and also the most effective technique in Kendo. As long as you can master the basic attack. Even in the future, when facing the Uchiha who pilot Gundams, even the Nightwind can be cut in two with a single stroke. Clang! The ninja sword is drawn. The Nightwind gripped the hilt of the knife. A peculiar sense of memory emanated from the muscles of the Nightwind. This moment, the Nightwind seemed like a swordsman who had honed his skills in basic strikes for over a decade. It is almost one with the ninja sword. Drink. Facing a wooden stake as tall as a person, Nightwind began to tirelessly practice its basic attacks, slashing repeatedly. Although he was only 7 years old, but each cut left a deep mark on the wooden stake, a strength that seemed completely out of place for a child of that age. Brush! Just as Ye Feng mechanically swung his sword in a horizontal slash. Suddenly, he sensed something unusual behind him. I don't understand. But it made his hair stand on end. Brush! Nightwind instinctively turned and swung his knife. Whoosh! Nightwind's blade moved incredibly fast. But the person behind him was equally adept at teleportation. Ye Feng only caught a glimpse of a fleeting shadow before the person vanished from his sight. Wow, so fast! This feeling arose in both of their minds at the same time. Gurgle gurgle. Although Ye Feng's slash missed its mark, his skills, comparable to those of a master of concealed weapons, instinctively led him to launch a series of concealed weapons towards the most likely points of impact for the teleportation technique. Clang! The blurry figure was also moving at an extreme speed. Although the landing point of the body flicker technique was predicted by Ye Feng. But he calmly took out a kunao and blocked Ye Feng's shuriken. Night Breeze, how have you been? Itaki. The Nightwind frowned. He finally saw who the other person was. Then, a serious expression appeared on his face. Itaki Uchiha's strength is unknown. Just when you think Itaki's strength is limited to this, he might surprise you again with something even more incredible. In the present moment, Ye Feng is no match for Uchiha Itaki, no matter what. So, what's he doing here? Nightwind bullied Suzuki. So, is Itaki, the older brother, planning to avenge his younger brother? Itaki Uchiha put away his kunao, looked into Yoru's eyes with a calm gaze and a calm voice. No wonder he could defeat Suzuki. Such exquisite swordsmanship is far beyond what my little brother could compare to. The Nightwind was silent. He still gripped the ninja sword tightly in his hand. At the same time, his left hand also secretly gripped a miniature shuriken. Nightwind didn't believe that Uchiha Itaki had come here just to praise him. Itaki Uchiha seemed to understand Ye Feng's concerns. He hesitated for a moment. Then, he forced a smile onto his face. I'm sorry, I was just curious about your swordsmanship, so I tested it out. Please don't misunderstand. Chapter 21. Oh? A test. Nightwind stared at Uchiha Itaki with a suspicious look, and began to make plans in his mind. Perhaps it really was a test. After all, based on Itaki Uchiha's unparalleled genjutsu, if he really wanted to deal with Ye Feng, he probably would have succeeded already. Yes, I happened to pass by and saw you practicing your sword, so I couldn't help but watch for a while. Your swordsmanship is quite good. Itaki Uchiha spoke with great sincerity. He had just returned from outside the village and was on his way back to hand in his mission. His encounter with the Nightwind was purely coincidental. Perhaps because of Suzuki, Itaki Uchiha stopped and observed Yoru practicing his swordplay for a while. Ye Feng's sword-wielding motion looked like the simplest horizontal slash. But Itaki Uchiha discovered this. Although Ye Feng's horizontal slashes seemed haphazard, each of his strikes was remarkably steady. It's almost unbelievably stable. Without more than a decade of rigorous training, it would be impossible to reach such a level. But, isn't Ye Feng only 7 years old? So, to test the limits of the Nightwind blade technique, Uchiha Itaki quietly approached Ye Feng from behind, releasing a wisp of killing intent. Really? Nightwind's subsequent reaction did not disappoint Itaki. Although it's unclear how Ye Feng trained. But his swordsmanship is indeed very strong. In today's Konoha village, although many ninjas still use ninja swords as weapons, there are almost no ninjas who specialize in swordsmanship. This was the first time Itaki had ever seen a sword as fast as the Nightwind. Maybe. Will he become the next White Fang of Konoha? Thinking about this, Itaki Uchiha sighed inwardly. My adorable little brother. You still need to keep trying. The two exchanged a few words about swordsmanship. At last, Uchiha Itachi said with a smile, by the way, I heard that Sasuke and you had some conflict during the exam yesterday. This isn't your fault, it's all Sasuke's fault for being too reckless. He's lived in the spotlight since he was a child, so it's understandable that he would get a little excited when he suddenly encounters an opponent like you. I hope you can forgive him, and that we can become friends and grow together. Nightwind put away his weapon. Become friends with Sasuke? Forget it. Let Naruto handle this important task. After all, if even your Yuuki can't handle Kaguya Otsutsuki in the future, Naruto and Sasuke might have to ask the Six-Path Sage for money. So, the bond between Naruto and Sasuke cannot be severed. Watching Itachi Uchiha leave, the night breeze finally breathed a sigh of relief. The ninja world is a world where the strong prey on the weak, and the mighty are respected. Even if he has a cheat code, he can still easily lose his life. So, becoming stronger is the only true path. Add another 100 sets to today's basic attack drills. Nightwind was preparing to swing his knife again. At this moment, Hinata Hyuga suddenly emerged from the bushes in the corner. Hinata blushed and whispered, Yorikaze-kun, are you, all right? When Ye Feng saw Hinata, he was slightly taken aback. Then, he noticed that Hinata's ninja tool pouch was not tied tightly, and a small section of a kunai was sticking out, indicating that it had just been put back. In other words, was this girl spying on me here? After Uchiha Itachi appeared, Hinata has also prepared kunai. If Yoru is in danger, she will risk her life to protect her. Thinking about this, Night Breeze felt a warmth in her heart and smiled, I'm fine. By the way, Hinata, would you like to train with me? Is this really okay? Hinata lowered her head shyly, though she was very happy inside, she didn't dare to show it. Of course. The Night Breeze stepped forward. He patted Hinata's head. Hinata, you need to have more confidence in yourself. I'm so happy to be able to train with a girl as wonderful as you. So, why did you have that question in the first place? Chapter 22. Hinata was suddenly patted on the head. Her neck immediately turned red. She was about to faint. But there was no one around. If I faint, wouldn't that put Lord Nightwind in a difficult position? No. It can't fall. That's all. Hinata overcame her dizziness with her strong willpower. Yokaze-kun, thank you. Hinata took a deep breath, a shy look on her face. No need to thank me, no need to be so polite. Nightwind looked at Hinata and suddenly suggested, by the way, Hinata, let's have some taijutsu practice. Hey? Physical combat. Hinata was slightly taken aback, completely unexpected that Yoru would make such a suggestion. Yes, practical combat skills. Nightwind nodded. Your Hyuga clan possess the Byakugan, making you naturally adept at close quarters combat. Today is our first time training together, so let me witness your strength. Night Breeze looked at Hinata with a serious expression. His eyes were full of encouragement. In the eyes of the Night Wind, Hinata is actually an exceptionally talented girl. She just lacks self-confidence. Night Wind hopes that through practical training, Hinata can regain her confidence, which can also be seen as giving the two of them an opportunity to spend time together. But I'm actually not that strong. Hinata lowered her head. She could feel the Night Breeze's trust in her. But she always felt that she had let down the talents of the Byakugan clan. I was afraid of disappointing the Night Breeze. No, Hinata, I've always believed in your talent, so you must believe in yourself too. Come on. The Night Breeze smiled gently. Those bright eyes warmed Hinata's young heart like sunshine. Well, all right then. Hinata nodded. You can't change a person with just a few words. However, Hinata was kind-hearted by nature, and she couldn't bear to refuse Yoru's expectations, so she had no choice but to bite the bullet and go for it. Haha, that's right, come on. The two walked to the center of the training ground and formed a unique hand seal, a symbol of opposition, that ninjas use before sparring. Then, Hinata took a deep breath. Eye roll. White eyes activated. Hinata immediately adopted a gentle fist stance. The Night Wind scrutinized Hinata with great interest. Hinata may be young, but she already exudes a heroic aura in battle, truly deserving of the title Byakugan Princess. Hinata, I'm going. Good. Gurgle gurgle. With serious expressions, the two charged at each other simultaneously, and their figures quickly became entangled. Bang bang bang. Early stage. Hinata adopted a very conservative, defensive strategy. The Night Wind kept punching and attacking. It's not that the Night Breeze doesn't know how to cherish and protect a beautiful woman. Despite Yefeng's years of dedicated training, which have made him much stronger and his punches powerful, Yefeng's physique is still impressive. But when it comes to close quarters combat, the Night Breeze is not as refreshing as Hinata's. Hinata blocked all his attacks with her gentle fist. Hinata, you say you're not strong? I can't even break through your defenses. Try taking the initiative. The Night Breeze smiled. Hinata blushed slightly again. But, encouraged by the Night Breeze, Hinata has finally started to take the initiative. Gurgle gurgle. Bagua second palm, Bagua fourth palm, Bagua 8 palms. This is Hinata's current limit. But this already made the Night Wind defenses inadequate. In fact, the Night Breeze could see the flaws in Hinata's gentle fist. It's not that the Hyuga clan's gentle fist has any flaws. Rather, Hinata has a weakness. If this fight is a life or death struggle, Night Wind has many opportunities to use normal attacks or hidden weapons to kill Hinata. But if we're only comparing physical skills, although he saw the flaw in Hinata's palm technique, he had no way to attack it. Really, there are still many areas that need improvement. Chapter 23. Two little children. Agile in movement. Agile and skillful. Like a butterfly flitting among flowers, they swayed constantly on the training field. In the blink of an eye, the two have been fighting for 20 minutes. Hinata's body was weak, and she was already panting heavily, her stamina nearing its limit. At this moment, the Night Breeze smiled. As he met Hinata's palm strike, he suddenly drew his ninja sword with his left hand. Swish! A single, horizontal slash. Hinata's palm strike slowed down instantly due to the sudden attack, revealing a huge opening. Clang! Night Wind deliberately raised the blade an inch higher with his strike, aiming to cut into the wooden stake behind Hinata. At the same time, Night Wind reached out his right hand, grabbed Hinata's hand, and slammed her against the wooden stake. All right, the seal of reconciliation is complete. The physical combat exercise is over. Wall slam. Hinata looked at the Night Wind so close to her, feeling its breath, and couldn't help but swallow hard. Night Breeze, you. Hinata spoke softly, her body uneasy, her heart pounding like a deer's. At the same time, a tempting blush appeared on her beautiful cheeks. This blush was different from her usual blush. Although she is still young, she is breathtakingly beautiful. The atmosphere was perfect. But at that moment, the edge of the training field, suddenly a scream rang out. Ah! Brother! What are you doing? Hearing Ino's exclamation, Hinata blushed instantly, her pupils dilating into spirals. Then, she fainted in Yefeng's arms. Night Breeze. Looking at Hinata Hyuga lying in his arms, and then at his younger sister running in his direction, Yoru sighed helplessly. Ino, look what you've done. Hinata and I were just sparring, and we were evenly matched. We learned a lot and even formed a reconciliation seal. But look at you yelling, and Hinata fainted again. What a spoil sport. Yorikaze shook his head and sighed. Ino approached the two, looking at Yoru with a wary expression, and said. Brother! How old are you? You're already doing a wall slam. Even though I think Hinata-chan is amazing, and I can accept her becoming my future sister-in-law, but, aren't you guys still a little too young? Night Breeze stroked his chin, his gaze sweeping over Hinata. He nodded thoughtfully. It is indeed a bit too small. It still needs to develop. After a while, Hinata finally woke up. You could tell from her eyes that she was still a little confused. You're awake, Hinata? You did a great job just now, so you must have more confidence in yourself in the future, Night Wind said with a smile. Hearing the Night Breeze's praise, Hinata's face flushed red again. Just as she was about to say a few words of modesty, she suddenly felt, as if she were still in the embrace of the Night Breeze. And so, Hinata's vision blurred again, and she fainted from embarrassment. Night Wind, Ino. No way. To prevent Hinata from not waking up, Night Breeze could only let Ino take Hinata away, and then couldn't help but sigh. What a lovely girl! 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. During these 3 months, after school, Yoru and Hinata went to the training ground where they first met and trained separately. Of course, in Ino's eyes, those seemingly simple training sessions were clearly just the two of them secretly dating. It was just so Hinata wouldn't faint from embarrassment. She and her brother simply didn't say it outright. However, it must be said. After 3 months of training, Hinata Hyaga's confidence has recovered considerably. Chapter 24. Hinata's natural talent was already very high. In the original storyline, Hinata's performance was mediocre at first. But in the middle and later stages, Hinata, however, displayed remarkable and commendable combat prowess. After all, the title Princess with the White Eyes isn't just a casual nickname. With the help of the Night Wind, Hinata's inner conflict began to slowly unravel. The minor psychological issue is being resolved. So, her progress in judo is also very noticeable. Perhaps that's why Hinata and Yoruyuki go on dates every day. However, Hayashi Hyaga did not interfere with the two of them. They didn't discuss this matter in front of Yamanaka Inoichi either. And so they let the two children develop freely. Hinata is paired with Yamanaka. It could be considered a good match in terms of social standing. As for the Night Breeze, it's been 3 months. He's still practicing his basic attacks. Day after day, for dozens of days. If you absolutely must ask why, don't ask. The problem is the system is terrible. System, I'm not trying to cause trouble, but look at this ridiculous task you issued. Sign in at the wooden stake painted with a pink pig. Come on, tell me where this wooden stake is? And what does that pink pig look like? It's been 3 months. I've been stuck on this task for a full 3 months. Aren't you going to explain this to me at all? That concludes Night Breeze's daily rant. The system remained aloof and silent, as always. The Night Wind was completely helpless. Sigh. I guess I'll just have to practice my sword skills. What else can I do? The Night Wind carried a face etched with melancholy. He gestured to Ino and Hinata, indicating that the next round of combat training could begin. In the center of the training field, Hinata and Ino stood facing Yoru. I wonder if being handsome is contagious. Ino and Hinata are already starting to look dashing. Brother, we're about to begin. As soon as Ino finished speaking, the two of them leaped up in perfect unison, creating distance between themselves and the Night Wind. At the same time, Hinata and Ino opened their ninja tool pouches, their hands flying, unleashing a barrage of hidden weapons. Gurgle gurgle. In an instant, various shuriken, senbon, kunao, and other concealed weapons were thrown out. 20 or 30 streaks of cold light, like shooting stars, swept towards different directions of the Night Wind. The attack was not directed at a vital point. But if hit, Nightwind's life is probably in danger too. Faced with an attack of this magnitude, the night breeze was calm and unhurried, and his face remained perfectly composed. Brush! A flash of light. A silvery white blade flashed through the air. All the hidden weapons were knocked away by the night wind, changed direction, and stuck into the bullseye of the training ground. Ah! Shikamaru, what do you think? Far away, Koji Akimichi witnessed this scene. The potato chip I had already put in my mouth suddenly fell out. Shikamaru's gaze turned serious. Feeling the sharp aura emanating from the night wind in the distance, he fell into deep thought. Is this the special training Ino was talking about? Is this definitely cultivation? Isn't this playing with fire? The mountain night wind must be defying the heavens. Why not develop the perfectly good yin escape technique? So they've switched to playing with knives? And Shikamaru recently discovered another problem. Led by the night breeze, even Ino has started carrying a ninja sword. Could it be? Are the Ino Shikacho trio going to break up? What a troublesome person! Wow, my brother is amazing. Yefen-kun, congratulations, you finally succeeded. The hidden weapon hit the bullseye. Both Ino and Hinata wore expressions of pride and admiration. For this move, they have practiced it dozens of times. I finally mastered it. Ding! Congratulations, host! Your passive skill mastery of basic attacks has been upgraded to exceptional mastery of basic attacks, activating the trait, Chakra Blade. Chapter 25. Hearing this beautiful, melodious, and slightly aloof system notification sound, Night Breeze was slightly taken aback. System, it seems you're not as bad as I thought. A basic attack is a skill. When you first acquire Nightwind, its skill level is Mastery. And now, after 3 months of repeated training, Nightwind's control over basic attacks has reached an incredibly terrifying level. Otherwise, it's also impossible to change the direction of a hidden weapon and hit the bullseye. But Ye Feng never expected this. After upgrading the basic attack, the system even gifted me an extra skill, Chakra Blade. Although so far, Nightwind has not yet mastered any of the chakra nature transformations. However, if one could attach chakra to a ninja sword like a samurai, forming a chakra blade, one could also significantly increase their combat power. And after acquiring this skill, once Yefen developed the ability to transform chakra nature, he can easily fuse chakra with nature transformation into the chakra blade. It forms a blade of chakra used in escape techniques. Its power is naturally much greater. System, I'm increasingly convinced you're a samurai who's become a spirit. Ninja Academy. Today is a special day. Early in the morning, Irika then led the entire elite class to the spacious training ground. Since enrolling, the students are learning theoretical knowledge every day. For example, wilderness survival, trap management, mission experience, support and counter support, reconnaissance and counter reconnaissance, etc. These theoretical knowledge are all encompassing. But it's really quite boring to learn. So, according to school practice, 3 months later, that is, today, each class will be given a practical exercise. After this exercise, each class will then begin physical training. So, the friends were very excited when they heard the news, and they were all eager to try it out. The first group in the live fire exercise consisted of Nightwind and Suzuki. Suzuki walked to the center of the training ground, glanced at Yefen with disdain, and his face revealed a mysterious confidence. Irika-sensei, may I ask if it's permissible to use ninjutsu during a match? I recently learned a fire-release ninjutsu. Sasuke's voice faded. The group's emotions instantly boiled over. Wow, amazing! To have mastered the fire-style chakra nature transformation so quickly, as expected of Suzuki. Yet, fire release ninjutsu requires a lot of chakra. Suzuki-kun's chakra is that strong. Tisk tisk tisk, so this is the foundation of the Uchiha clan? Truly terrifying. Ye Feng is in danger now, he might lose his position as number 1 in the class. What are you talking about? How could my brother possibly lose? But Ino, that's ninjutsu, how could we normal people possibly defeat ninjutsu? Hearing these comments, Sasuke's lips began to curl into a slight smile, his expression gradually becoming exaggerated. That's right. I, Uchiha Sasuke, am destined to be the coolest guy on the field today. Teacher Irika awkwardly maintained order for a moment, then reminded everyone. Sasuke, using fire release ninjutsu is, well, too dangerous. Today's test is mainly about taijutsu, so please don't use ninjutsu. Joke. Fire release ninjutsu is incredibly powerful. Let alone a group of children. Even he, an excellent Chunin teacher, dared not take a direct hit from a fire-type ninjutsu. Chapter 26. Hearing Irika's reminder, Ino and Hinata both breathed a sigh of relief. But Sasuke seemed to have anticipated this outcome. He smiled dismissively and said, "Oh, that's true. Ninjutsu is indeed somewhat dangerous for them. But it's all right, even without ninjutsu, I can still defeat Yamanaka yokais." Surprised? Surprised? I actually knew all along that fire release ninjutsu couldn't be used in this level of test. I asked that question just now simply to create an opportunity to tell you that I have already mastered ninjutsu. How clever of me! Bro, be careful, this guy seems really confident. Ino gave a reminder to Yoru. The night breeze chuckled and whispered. Don't worry, I know this guy. 1 second he's full of confidence, the next he'll definitely get hammered. That's a law, there's no breaking it. Both sides are in position. Please form the seal of opposition, announced Teacher Irika. Mountain Night Breeze, today I'll show you the results of the special training my brother specially designed for me. You'd better give it your all, or you'll collapse before I even get a chance to try. Urshiza casually made a show of escaping right from the start. The Night Breeze chuckled casually. Special training? That's interesting. His existence has changed the plot of the Naruto world. If Sasuke had received attack as special training at that age, that means Urshiza's starting point was much higher than in the original storyline. What's the meaning of that smile? Is it a smile of ignorance? Like a mountain night breeze? Sasuke was a little unhappy. I laugh because I'm confident. What gives you the right to laugh? But Sasuke had barely finished speaking when Night Wind dashed forward and reached Sasuke, delivering a swift chop to his wrist. Although a hand chop is different from a ninja sword, but it still managed to cut with great momentum. Brush! This slash came down. Urshiza instantly forgot about the results of Attaka's recent special training. That's too fast. How could anyone possibly escape this? This moment, Sasuke's heart raced, his pupils dilated, and his expression was somewhat bewildered. Hand chop. It eventually stopped on Sasuke's carotid artery. Night Breeze looked at Urshiza with a half-smile and said leisurely. Urshiza, is this the result of your special training? Are you sure you're not kidding me? Humiliation. This is absolutely humiliating. Urshiza gritted his teeth, his eyes burning with rage. This moment, he finally remembered what his brother had taught him. He forcefully pushed away the hand chop to his neck with one palm, his body leaping into the air, his right leg sweeping towards Ye Feng's temple. This move is very powerful. But this was just a feint. The opponent will usually raise their hand to block. Then the opponent's chest area will then be severely exposed. At that time, that's when Sasuke will unleash his ultimate move. Bang! Really? The Night Breeze fell for their trick. Urshiza's lips curled into a smile. But a sharp pain suddenly shot through his ankle. Sasuke felt as if his right leg had hit a steel plate. The veins on his forehead were throbbing. His expression gradually turned ferocious. I've completely forgotten the subsequent changes in tactics. Bang! Another sharp pain shot through Sasuke's lower abdomen. Sasuke was sent flying. Uchiha, didn't you say your brother would give you special training? Is this all? Did your brother lie to you? Ye Feng frowned. But thinking about it, it makes sense. Even the Uchiha clan, who fought 7 opponents single-handedly, still had to act as double agents. So busy. Where would we find the time to train Uchiha? He might have only given Sasuke a word or two of pointers occasionally. Then, does Uchiha think he's capable again? Chapter 27. What are you being so arrogant about? I was just careless just now. Now, the real me will be revealed. You'd better be prepared to be crushed by me. Uchiha Sasuke got up from the ground, covered in dust. His eyes narrowed slightly. And one last time. No. You are forbidden to call me Shu Zi again. Okay, Uchiha. A hole. Sasuke let out a roar and charged towards the night wind again. But he was met with another terrifying chop to the neck. No. That's impossible. That's absolutely impossible. In physical combat, I'm clearly on par with my brother. Why am I so utterly helpless against Ye Feng? Uchiha was panting heavily. I barely have the strength to speak. But inside, a roar was raging. His young mind seemed completely unaware that those blissful, evenly matched times were actually just a dream his brother had created for him. Admit defeat, Uchiha. You're no match for me. I have no interest in torturing you anymore. Night Breeze shook his head listlessly, somewhat disappointed with Sasuke's performance. Admit defeat. Hearing those shameful words, Sasuke Uchiha gritted his teeth and said, since ancient times, there have only been Uchiha who died in battle, never Uchiha who surrendered. Fire release, Great Fireball Technique. Under the torment of various negative emotions, Uchiha finally lost his mind. He still has a chance. He can also use fire release techniques. That's a C-rank fire release ninjutsu that stands tall above the entire ninja academy. Boom! Uchiha Sasuke channeled his chakra into his throat. Immediately afterwards, a fireball a meter in diameter was ejected. The fireball was not large in size, but the scorching temperature stunned the group. Is this the power of fire release ninjutsu? It's so strong. Will Nightwind be killed? Almost at the same instant, Hinata and Ino rushed forward. They wanted to save Yoru. But does the Night Breeze need a woman's protection? He reached behind him and took the bamboo knife that was hanging diagonally at his waist. The purest chakra instantly adhered to the surface of the bamboo sword, forming a blue chakra blade. Buzz! A single, level slash. The fragile bamboo knife was no match for the force of the night wind. With a bang, the bamboo sword was shattered into pieces. The resulting impact created a small gust of wind that sliced the oncoming fireball in two. Sparks flew everywhere, filling the sky. Her long hair fluttered in the night breeze. It redefined how infatuated girls perceive handsomeness. This moment, Irika was also stunned. Can a bamboo sword be used to cut a fireball? Is this the world of child prodigies? I really don't understand. The dazzling red light caused a crimson hue to appear in Sasuke Uchiha's pupils. It wasn't that the Sharingan was awakened. Instead, a red-haired Nightwind appeared before Sasuke. It all started with that one cut. Sasuke was completely terrified. Facing the night breeze, he instinctively tried to cover his face with his hands. But The Night Wind clearly didn't let him off the hook just because he was a child. Night Wind reached out and grabbed Sasuke's wrist, flinging his body into the air. Then, bang! He kicked Sasuke in the butt. Whoosh! Sasuke landed in Naruto's arms once again, like a cannonball. Hey? Sasuke! What are you doing? Are you doing this on purpose? Explain yourself. Naruto Uzumaki disdainfully pushed the helpless Sasuke out of his arms. Then, thinking about what happened before, the two of them simultaneously gagged. Chapter 28. Uchiha Sasuke stared blankly at the mountain night wind. I tried to calm myself down. He covered his buttocks with both hands. His teeth were grinding together, making a crunching sound. That seemed to mean, just you wait and see. I am Uchiha Sasuke. I'll never let you kick my butt again. Sasuke gave him a fierce look. He was preparing to leave the training ground that had broken his heart. At this moment, Night Wind suddenly appeared in front of Sasuke, blocking his path. His gaze was somewhat cold. Want to leave? Not so easy. The night breeze is usually very gentle. Sasuke had never seen such a look in Yeffen's eyes before. He's incredibly panicked right now. Tears were already welling up in her eyes. But he was very strong and didn't let the tears fall. What do you want to do? I've already lost, can't I even leave? You wouldn't be thinking of forming some kind of reconciliation seal with me, would you? Don't even dream about it. I will never reconcile with you. Uchiha spoke with his last bit of stubbornness. Iruka saw this. He gave an awkward few laughs. He walked up to Yeffen and Sasuke. He advised. Sasuke-kun, actually, that was just a sparring match. As is customary, the reconciliation seal must be formed, so please cooperate with Yori-kun. Iruka had just finished speaking. The night breeze said calmly. Teacher Iruka, I think there's something you might be mistaken about. I stopped him not for any reconciliation seal. I stopped him because his fireball jutsu had created so much smoke that it choked Ino and Hinata. Therefore, he must apologize. Although the great fireball technique is jokingly referred to as the fire jutsu that doesn't kill. But if such a high-temperature fireball were to actually strike the night wind is bound to get hurt. If it weren't for the fact that Sasuke was still a child and that he didn't truly intend to kill him, Yeffen would never have let Sasuke step down so easily. But although Night Wind used a chakra blade to shatter Uchiha Sasuke's great fireball jutsu, but the dust and smoke that flew up captivated Ino and Hinata, who wanted to go on stage to rescue yokais. This is for the night breeze. This is also something that is difficult to tolerate. So, Night Wind stopped Sasuke and made him apologize. You guys, you're bullying us too much. Uchiha's voice trembled with tears. Tears welled up in my eyes. They were on the verge of collapse. Are you feeling wronged? I feel so wronged. Did Hinata and Ino choke? Wasn't that smoke from your broken knife burning? Where did my fireball get the smoke from? They actually want me to apologize? Is there no reasoning involved? Brother, I think we should just forget about it, it's not really a big deal. Ino awkwardly tugged at Yora's sleeve. This version of Sasuke has lost its appeal. My brother is my biological brother. You can't push it away. If Sasuke's character is ruined, will there be any other male admirers left to pursue? Yet. Night Wind, let's forget about it. Kind-hearted Hinata also tried to persuade them. After all, we're all classmates, we should be forgiving. See? They, as victims, are all pleading for you. And you, the son of the Konoha police chief, are actually trying to argue your way out of this and refusing to apologize? Is this what you call the glory of the Uchiha clan? The Night Wind spoke in a flat tone. It was the final blow to Sasuke's heart. The Guard Unit is an organization in Konoha village that upholds fairness and justice. Uchiha Sasuke is the son of the team leader. He did something wrong but doesn't dare to admit it. These words pierced through Sasuke's young psychological defenses. He closed.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना।